All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right, today we're going to talk about, I'm going to talk about the girl that broke my heart and got me to where I'm at now. And I got to thank her, honestly, because if it wasn't for her, honestly, I would never have gotten into shape, would have never found myself. I never would have got my head right. So I don't blame her for anything, because I walked away from the relationship afterwards. So afterwards, when I finally realized what happened and I got to an acceptance of what happened, it made it easier to just let her go and just walk away from everything. And I gotta thank her for that, because I would have never got. See, I try to look at the positives and stuff now. Once you decided to leave, it helped me get myself better. So, but for the people that are just trying to know who I am or what I went through, pretty much, I was in a 10-year marriage with this individual, and during 2020, when everything was going on, and when was it? We broke up in December 2020, and it put me through a bad depressive state, a really bad depressive state. Now I was still in a beta mindset, so it was like I was groveling over her. I was doing things that I just shouldn't have did. Just shouldn't have did. And it was just now when I look back at it, I'm like, man, I shouldn't have did this, man. I was groveling over her. I mean, I knew what she was doing. We were still having sex afterwards. And then it got to a point where I was like, I don't want to have sex with you no more. I felt dirty. And that was my first part of me accepting everything. I started feeling dirty. I was like, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. So we ended up stopped doing it. And then literally a couple weeks later, after we had sex, she was with somebody. She was with somebody else. And I was like, oh, okay. Then here I am trying to find out who this person is and all this other. I was being stupid. I was being dumb. And then during that time too, I was so depressed. It was the most depressive state I think I've ever been in my life. It was I've lost a lot. I've lost people before, and that's how it felt. I felt like the person was dead, but they were living still right over there, and getting smashed on by somebody else. Now it's hard to watch the loved one the person that you loved, getting smashed on, or knowing that there was somebody else. It was hard. It was hard for me, and I wasn't eating or anything like that. So I started working out, and before I know it, all the pounds that I had on me started shedding off. And before I know it, I was getting myself in good shape. And then I started watching a bunch of red pill theory videos. Well, first I started off watching a bunch of motivational speeches of how to maintain yourself and stuff like that. And then afterwards, I started watching a bunch of red pill theory stuff, because FitX Fearless, Coach Warren, 33 Secrets. Man, there's so many to name. There's a lot to name. Honestly, I was going through all of them. And they were all putting out some really good content that just resonated with me. And it was just before I know it, I started taking all of these ideas in, and trying to be the better high value person that I know I can be. I started getting myself in shape. I started trying to I went from I think y'all probably heard me say this a couple times in my other videos, but I went from 210 to 215 pounds to now I'm 160, 155 maybe. So I haven't weighed myself honestly in the longest time, but I went from having no abs to being able to develop these. And and I'm still working on myself. I'm not the biggest person in the world, as you can see. I'm not that big. I'm not the most muscular person out here or anything. Sorry, I dropped my lighter. But I'm not the most muscular person out here telling you guys this stuff. I'm just a regular person. I'm a regular guy. I'm a dad. I got 4 kids with this individual, and right now we're still rocky or on terms of talking, but realistically, I don't talk to her that much. I just keep it about the kids. If you got kids, just keep it about the kids. That's all it should be. Most of the times when she even messages me now about different stuff, because I'm in a different mindset, I don't even message back. I don't see the reason to engage in conversation with you at that point. If it doesn't have anything to do with our children, I'm not engaging in that conversation. Like, she calls it being petty. She calls it being, but I'm like, I don't understand how that's being petty. She's like, oh, why can't we be friends? Why would I want to be friends? What? So every day I sit back and watch you and talk to you, I gotta think about this other guy now that's behind you smashing you. Like, why would I want to be friends with you? That makes no sense. That would be the biggest simp move that I can do, is be friends. You don't be friends with your exes, especially ones that done you dirty and monkey brain to somebody else. You don't do that. Like, you don't do that. Like, that's the most craziest thing ever. Like, and it's just like, that's just stuff that you just don't do. You stay away from that route. You don't be friends with your ex. Like, that's a really, really beta move. Like, do not do that. Do not do that. Do not let them manipulate you to be friends just because you want some sex. Or this goes for guys and girls. Don't let them manipulate you for just being a booty call. Like, you cut that off. You cut that off. Seriously, cut that off. But like, I started watching all of these stuff. I started getting myself together. And before I know it, like, the minute I started getting myself together, I started noticing that my attraction to women, the ways, like, sexually and stuff like that, I don't know if it was just because of the no relationship thing, or the fact that I also started the no fap thing also too. At first it was for, like, I started making my own excuses at first, but then I realized the real reason why I'm doing it is actually to control my sexual urges towards women. I found that every time I see a woman, oh my God, man, I want to do it to this chick. Before I know it, I'm caught up, and I'm freaking just whipped. Like, I'm whipped on it, and then it's just like, before I know it, I'm showing so much emotion, and it's like, I had to stop that. I had to control my urges. And what if it was controlling my sexual urges? I was gotten to a point where it's like, I talk to women, like, these days, and they're just like, man, this guy's different. Like, he just ain't all about this now, or he's just not, because I'm not all about that no more. Like, just a different person now. Like, if you want to give it up to me, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. If you want to hang out, that's fine. Like, I'm just nonchalant about it these days. Like, it's whatever. But before I know it, the minute I started really working on myself, I started bringing in a lot more different type of women. Like, the women were coming, they're coming to me. It doesn't even matter if I got my kids. I got 4 kids. And the women were coming to me. Like, and I thought at first they weren't coming because I got 4 kids. They're just like, oh, I see you doing your dad thing, blah, 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 They were coming to me, and there's some nice looking women, that's all I can say, and they're coming to me. Like, this is not nothing out there. They're really coming to me and saying these things, like, and I mean, I thought that I was never going to be able to, like, find women because I got 4 kids. Like, I was like, man, do I gotta just leave my kids at home all the time? Man, what if I got my kids and I see somebody or something? That's not even the case no more. Like, I got my kids, they're coming to me. Like, oh, your kids are so adorable. Oh, they're so cute. What's their name? As soon as they get done with their names, like, what's your name? I'm like, well, we can find out a little bit more. Let's talk a little bit more, and we get to know each other a little bit more. Like, before I know it, I got their number. They came to me. They came to me with all my kids. Didn't matter. But it's because I walked in with a different type of confidence. Like, I walked in different. Like, they just know. It's like a radar goes off in their head, and they're just like, ooh, confidence guy over there. Like, they trust me. It happens. I thought it wasn't. I thought all this advice that some of these coaches and stuff were giving out, and I thought it was a bunch of bullcrap at first. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I thought it was just a bunch of bullcrap. Like, these people just want some views, and they know how to play in people's minds because we're going through it right now, and that's how. No, it works. It works. I could tell you for a fact it works. Like, definitely works. You start bringing in different women, especially once you start acting different towards them, and they realize, oh, man, this guy doesn't really care. Like, it works. It really works. And I mean, like I said, I was looking up everything. I was looking up red pill. I was looking up I was looking up alphas, sigmas. I looked up a bunch of stuff and I took every single thing together and I meshed it into one. And I came up with my own ideas, and that's what you should do too. You come up with your own ideas, because at the end of the day, it's all about you. But the one thing that everybody says is focus on yourself. That was the one thing out of every video I watched. Everybody was like, yo, focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. So I took that advice. I focused on myself. Once I focused on myself, the women started focusing on me. See how I went? That's how I went. Before you know it, I got a strong feeling later down in the future, my ex, because she's already been screen watching most of my pages anyway though, so you know, even her, she's probably gonna be watching like, dang, he's doing better. I thought he was gonna be this and that, but I'm not. Like, I've actually been great. I've actually been real great actually. Like, shit, if I would have known this, yo, you should have left sooner. Like, I didn't know this was gonna happen. Like, it's not even about the women. How I feel inside about myself now. That's where it counts. That's the big part. It's how I feel inside about myself. It's not even about the women. I care less about the women. Like, not saying that you women are anything like that. No, but the same thing. You women should be applying the same thing too. You guys shouldn't even be caring about some of these guys. Like, trust me. Once you fix yourself up, get your your nails painted, your manicures, pedicures, stuff like that. Get your hair done. Just go and paint your face and everything too. Like, the men will come. You'll probably attract a couple betas, but the men will come. I mean, it's the same thing with me. I'm attracting a couple beta females too, but they're still here. They're coming. A couple of high quality ones too, but we'll speak on that a different day. But all I can say though is that once your ex see that, that you're progressing and doing better stuff, they're gonna try to come back. And always remember, even if they come crawling back, you tell them what I said. We don't take exes back around here, y'all.